Man, that's crazy to think. We could already have our 2 players potentially set for this tournament before like most of the races are even done in this group entirely. So yeah, it's a pretty big deal. First person to drop to 2 losses is already out of this group. So
a quick map check from Kyle already. Eastern is a Pyramid Fairy Crystal. I did not see what desert was, but Hera is regular.
It looks like both our players are going to be making the same route at the beginning. We have the Sprite on the left with Jenja from Secret of Mana, one of my favorite games of all time, and the Dark Girl Sprite from that weird Link to the Past release that had like internet and you had to download stuff. It was weird.
They made a little difference of choices at the start. Jenja found out that the first tier of tree is a bunch of arrows. Not that important. Kyle won't be missing that.
Good information to have regardless. Yeah, we already got the... let's see, we got single arrow and a heart containers to start. So let's see what else we got going on. It's of course way too early to start, routing this seed. Who knows? Maybe we'll get one of those Kakarikos where we literally find everything we need to open things up, or we'll go through it and maybe find like a blue tunic, a shield. Good items, but nothing that's going to help us progress.
Yeah, you're really hoping to find something that'll give you an idea of where to go to start a Kakariko, because making that choice between South Shore or Sahashwala is kind of a toss-up that you don't want to make wrong.
Oh, and Kyle discovering the tier 1 tree pull as well. So, and it looks like Jenja's going to be setting up for at least the tier 2, maybe even tier 3. Probably tier 3, but things go sour.
Be tier 2 because he's already been hit once.
Oh, okay. Bush Crab's dropping 10 arrows, so we got 15 arrows. We got tons of arrows to start in the beginning already.
Hopefully they find a bow to make that useful to them.
I know, right? And only a blue rupee in the Lumberjack Cave, so as of now, Aga is not going to be required. But who knows, they might need that blue rupee sometime in the future.
Yeah, there's also that rare chance that they need the portal from Agahnim to get either into the Dark World or the bomb to the pyramid.
Well, speaking of Aga, we already got our lamp, one of the key components to do Aga Tower, aside from swords, cape, etc. But man, early lamp is a really nice. Oh, and there's.
Oh my god!
What was that thing you were just talking about? Didn't we?
They're prepared.
There's a reason. There's a reason why they gave us arrows. They're like, hey, here's an early bow.
Kyle actually collected all those arrows too. He's at the cap at the 30, but Jenja only picked up the 21.
Well, that's the cool thing is with that lamp and bow, all of Eastern is unlocked, and with it being a crystal, and a Pyramid Fairy crystal, we're probably going to see that routed into pretty soon.
Yeah, and because of that, depending on where the other Pyramid Fairy crystal is, they could actually need to do Agahnim just for that if they can't find the hammer.
Yeah. Interesting start. Very interesting start.
Yeah. Technically, you can glitch around it with flippers, I believe, but it's not required by logic.
Let's see what kind of value we got holding us down in the Blind's basement. So far, nothing but rupees and hearts and a couple more arrows. So now both players are going to be capped out. Their quiver is going to be full. So that's, good. Because that is currently our only weapon right now. So.
Even on money, bombs, and arrows,
And health.
And health, that's crazy. And magic. Everything. Are we sure these are the same players or not?
Is this
the
actually
sprite is differentiating it for us?
Bit of a bomb refill, so more than likely we won't be seeing a bomb purchase leaving Kakariko. But who knows? We'll see. Powder? Alright, just need a hammer now.
An interesting start to the seed so far. You really want to see a hammer now so you can get that bat check out of the way early so you don't have to deal with it. And finding that hammer would also mean when you get to pod, you can finish pod. And that's a very comfortable feeling to have as well, knowing that pod is not going to be a weird double dipped at some point.
Yeah, and there's some super nice value from the bottle vendor. Trading in that 100 rupees for 300 rupees, so it's a pretty favorable rupee count currently.
Yeah, I don't think I ever got that deal when I was growing up.
That'd have been nice. I had a full heart container, going to be getting out of this one from collecting 4 heart pieces, so 6 hearts. Pretty good start. But yeah, a lot of times you'll have those Kakarigos where you end up leaving with, Titan Mitts or Hammer, Glove, Moon Pearl. This one is looking like it's going to be relatively linear for a while now.
Yep.
So
both players choosing to buy, which is interesting because they did find a bomb early, so they weren't in desperate need. But if you don't buy a bomb there, there's a small chance that you don't get enough bombs for a hole later on.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, if they routed that better, they would have had 3 more bombs right now, but they didn't get.
They still have what? Mini Moldorm Cave, Ice Rock Cave, Sahasrar's Hut. That's 3 more bombs that they have to potentially use.
Yeah, and
they find a glove,
then
that. Yeah, and if they find a glove, that also opens up, back of escape. So that's already 4 bombs. So yeah, you're right. A bomb purchase is a good idea. Why leave it up to RNG when it's right there?
Yeah, 11 hookshot would have been 6 bombs as well.
Ooh, that's a nice find. So now
I
we're
don't
just.
know if Jenya checked that already, but he's already diving right in.
Some players will opt to just go straight for it. Save a little bit of time checking it.
It'll pay off this time.
Yeah. So currently the mirror is not very useful yet, but I'm sure it'll come in handy at some point.
Yeah,
and if we do find the glove
now, yeah, exactly.
I'm kind of at this point where it's like, all right, we're gonna find glove, and then we're gonna find some sort, like either a sword or a hammer to go up to take out Moldorm.
Yeah, we'll get a glove pretty soon, I would assume. Find that hammer, and then hopefully somewhere in Hera we'll have the pearl, and then they'll have Dark World access from there too.
See if we'll see a route divergence. Oh, here we go.
Ooh.
Kyle
choosing to use the bow through the escape. It's a little bit awkward at times, but it should be pretty easy to kill everything.
And with that lamp, you'll be able to check that sewer chest more conveniently. And with the mirror, he could mirror back to the beginning of High Roll to go check that as well. So it's actually not a bad option right now.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Definitely don't want to go through the sewer first, because if you have a key on the left side, you could go all the way to the back.
And, depending on what items we get, this could be a... Well, hold on. Let's see what we got back into Hospital's Hut. Wow! 650 rupees. Okay. That's some Zora money right there. Oh, man, this could easily be one of those seeds where you have to go into Hyrule Castle. Small key is either going to be on the left side or in, the sewer chest, and then gloves are in the back of escape. Kind of one of those scenarios.
Yeah, that could be a good route for that to happen with Kyle going there right away. It might actually give him an advantage if he finds something of value there, because we don't know when Jenya will end up being there. If he finds something in here, he might skip off on doing escape for a little longer. But at the same time, Kyle's spending a lot of time in escape, and Jenya could be finding the next piece he needs through a full eastern clear.
Well, there's a dungeon map, so... I think it's... Honestly, it's better to find that map there than it is to find... than it is to go into the sewer wondering, is this going to be a small key or is this going to be a map? Because routing all the way through to the sewer just to get a map is not fun.
Yeah.
Kind of obnoxious.
Having not checked the back yet, there's absolutely no way for them to tell.
4 arrows to take out the ball and chain dude, and let's find out what's in here. Just a red rupee.
Ooh, doesn't save and quit.
Huh, okay. Decide not to mirror out to go check the sewer.
I guess he doesn't have the small key, so he was not worth taking that risk, I guess.
Yeah, because who knows? They could find a glove over in Eastern, and then small key could be in that middle chest. So...
Even more divergence here. Kyle's choosing the South Shore.
Yeah, we'll find out which one of these was the right choice.
I have a feeling very quickly it won't matter, as I'm guessing they'll double over each other's route very soon.
Heart container. Was that our first item in there, or did we get... What have we seen so far in Eastern? Thought we've seen Big Key and Compass.
I have to wait for him to menu. Well, we have seen the big key, so there is definitely an item back here, having found the map as well. Oh yeah, he's got it all.
Alright,
so item here and at Armos.
Some Mini Moldorm Cave from Kyle, bringing out the bow. Let's see if he can make all these shots nice and clean. Oh man, he's 3 for 3. Oh, that wasn't even close, Kyle. Come on. He was trying to preemptively aim it so that he'd run into it, but...
Can't remember who I was watching, but they had the Moldworm clip through to the right from the middle, so you can do that in 2 bombs. I've just never thought about it.
Oh, nice. Speaking of also nice, there's the glove, Mini Moldorm Cave. So, Kyle's option of skipping on the sewer chest might actually work out.
You could even skip out on Eastern right now and go straight up the mountain.
It looks like he's not going to skip out on Ice Rod Cave. Not worth the gamble at this point. Especially when you're still looking for, like, a sword.
Yeah, that's one I've been skipping on lately because of... It's just so out of the way. I like to go there with boots or Ocarina or something. Mm-hmm. But I've also lost a race because it had a medallion that you'd never expect to need just sitting there, and I cleared the whole game trying to find it.
Yeah, it's one of those light world locations that if you put it off for too long and then you find Dark World access, then you keep putting it off.
Yeah, that Agahnim, or not Agahnim, sorry, Agahna. There's a few others like that where you don't want to leave them because eventually they'll bite you and it'll be almost certain a race loss if you leave them for too long. I don't believe you found anything though.
We haven't, yeah, I only got a big 20 out of that one, but we haven't seen anything in Eastern yet. So, I mean, he is going to get a crystal out of this, which is, of course, pretty important. It's a pretty big deal. But hopefully Armos is holding on to something important, like a sword, or maybe even like the Moon Pearl.
Yeah,
It'd be fun to see him go into the Dark World without a sword. Oh,
there's our sword. And with all the tools to check it, no troubles at all. He'll be going straight this way as well. Jenja having a little bit of arrow troubles. Ooh!
Fire Rod.
Fire Rod. That's a really good find.
That's some good value right there. Now, also worth pointing out that Kyle's play of not checking that sewer chest working out because that small key ended up being in the bombable wall. So,
yep.
Good play by him.
He needed here to go backwards with light and everything, so there's no slow walking around in here, so it's all good.
So Fire Rod is good, but it doesn't really give you any routing options at this point. Yeah. While Kyle has glove and sword, so now he has everything he needs to go up and do Tower of Hera. So you can easily see him doing that next, but it looks like he's going to go ahead and do Sahasrahla Eastern because the rule always stands to go. You should always do Sahasrahla before you go to Death Mountain.
I sure wish I followed that rule. Yeah,
and now depending on how Jenja routes now, we'll probably just see a flip-flop. But who knows? He might skip out an Ice Rock Cave.
Yeah, this should balance most things. It could have been dangerous for Kyle if he went up the mountain and found Dark World access, because then he would have passed over Skull Woods without getting the Fire Rod. But this should balance it all out and give them to a pretty even edge.
So at this point, we're still looking for another glove, a Moon Pearl. Or we're looking for a Moon Pearl, definitely. We're still looking for another glove or hammer.
Or cape or sword.
Worst case scenario, another sword upgrade.
Yeah. You really don't want to do Agahnim when the Lumberjack is just a blue rupee, but sometimes he's stuck doing it.
Yeah. This could also be that rare Moon Pearl on Pyramid scenario, which very popular in the days of the V18 in the last tournament. Not so popular, or very likely. Well, popular is not the correct word, because nobody wants it to be on the pyramid.
There you go. Infamous, I believe.
Infamous. But infamous, but like higher percent chance.
Yeah. And Jenja had some really nice bomb throws there. 3 bombs, 4 Moldworms.
Sorry,
now that's a gutsy play.
I mean, skipping out an Ice Rock Cave.
Not even a fake flipper. But I think this day and age with the Waterfall Fairy, you don't fake flipper without Pearl or flippers. I guess it would be not fake flipper anymore.
But depending on how the rest of the seed plays out, it could be one of those scenarios where you fake flipper to Hobo to get whatever item allows you to skip Aga Tower. You never know. Now the question is, will Jenja end up checking the beginning of Hyrule Castle? or not? That's what
I'm
I'm
sure
curious
he'll
about.
be happy if he doesn't, but either way,
Oh yeah.
Kyle's already spent his time doing it, so it won't be time loss at all.
So at this point, the next big play that we need to see is going to be up Death Mountain. We have all the means to get up there. We have all the means to get up to Hera. Could be easily like a hammer in Hera to get to the east side Death Mountain, or we'll find our Moon Pearl in like Paradox Cave or something.
Yep. The only two options left that are biologic possible would be Agahnim or Zora, and I don't think either of those are anywhere near their options that are worth doing right now.
That's true. With that glove in hand, and plenty of rupees, these players could go do Zora at any moment.
Ooh, here it is.
Here's the play.
This is the mountain play.
I feel like I've been seeing a lot of players skipping Hyrule, like portions of Hyrule Castle. Or at least like the portions that are blocked by stuff. Like they'll check the back of, the back section. But like sometimes that beginning section, since it doesn't really require any items to get through, people will put it off.
It's a really slow walk for what usually is about 3 items total. So
Yeah.
it's a lot better to do other things unless you're running out of options.
And what did we get?
Save it for that.
We got it was like a dungeon map, hearts and rupees. I think were the only items over there.
Yeah, there's probably a capacity upgrade or something, but that's about it.
All right. Well, what do you guys think our next progression item is going to be at? It's going to be at the Old Man. It's going to be in Spiral Cave, or not Spiral Cave, in Spectacle Rock. It's going to be in Hera. Well, there's Ether.
Could be required, but hard to tell. Either way, and no player is going to be skipping it.
Hopefully we'll see a map check from Jenya before going up to Hera. But a lot of times I feel like players always skip that map check. Whenever you're
I
going
usually
into Hera.
forget until I'm diving into a dungeon that I don't really feel like going into.
Mm-hmm.
I take it Desert was a crystal. I didn't get to see it when Kyle map checked.
Yeah, it was a crystal.
Ooh.
Oh, there's a book.
That is a completable desert. Maybe. I forgot about the boots.
Maybe.
Could be a trolley desert.
Jenny, what are you doing?
Book's not required.
Yeah, but he could at least check what's in Ether. Oh, wow, look at that. 3 Pendant Dungeons, Ice, Swamp, and Thieves, with the last Pyramid Fairy crystal being at T-Rock. So Green Pendant Swamp, Pendant Thieves, which I personally cannot... I hate that, because, like, Thieves is my safety. Thieves is my safe place. Where it's like, okay, I always know that this is going to be a good play, regardless.
I'm very concerned about leaving that book behind.
Yeah. I mean, you can't get the item out of Ether, but knowing whether or not you have to come back up there and get it later, it's just it's so nice to have.
It's almost like doing the check to begin with, except for you're done with it already. And you're gonna need to grab that book anyways, so he's I'm assuming planning on getting it after doing Hera. He'll jump back down and pick it up and then save and quit, which saves him a bit of time overall, but I don't know if the value will be the same as not getting that Ether check right away.
We've already seen one item in Hera. I guess it depends on what we find else in here. But yeah, the thing is, with that book, Desert could actually be our answer for getting into the Dark World. And that would also send players over to Agahni's Cave. And who knows? We might not need the boots to complete it. But I would love to see... Well, we have a Fire Rod, so we don't really have to worry about seeing any NMG percent.
Oh no.
Oh gosh. Alright.
Please no.
Please. Yes. We want to see some Aga, right?
I sure don't. I believe that was both items already, wasn't it?
So no Hera basement for us.
So the Moon Pearl could be on the pyramid, or it could be in Desert, or with Agahnim or Zora.
Whoop. Jenny getting a cold shoulder from Moldorm. Oh no!
That's bad luck on the spin there. He hit him, but a follow-up tanked off of him and threw him down the hole.
That hurts. That hurts a lot. Now, I wonder if we'll see Kyle grab that book before he goes in. It looked like Jenja wanted to go back and grab the book, but he was already over by the portal, so he just went ahead and said, I'll just go ahead and go.
Yeah, I've never seen a player skip an item that they should usually get right there, so I don't expect Kyle to skip that either. I'm sure he'll drop down and pick it up right away.
And if these players are, there's also that really nice bomb jump you could do to get back. What? Guys.
Apparently, I don't know something that good runners do, because
apparently this is why we lose races, Futon, is because we... clearly, we're missing out on something. Well, for their sake, I hope that there's something in Ether Tablet that's required. Alright? I said it.
Teach them a lesson? Is this what you're going for?
Please.
Some bold moves on both of their parts.
I mean, I guess it makes sense because they can't get the item, but, being able to read the tablet is just...
It's good knowledge.
Like, is Jenja going to get the book and then go back up and check it now? Or is he just going to go straight to desert?
You've committed. You got to save and quit off of this.
That's true. They might not know that nifty little bomb jump. It's pretty nice and pretty easy to set up. All right, moving on. Desert's got to be the answer right now, right? Or Zora, or
Agahnim.
I can't imagine Moon Pearl being on the pyramid.
It really could be. It
could.
Big option right now.
It could. I just can't imagine it. Not in this version. B27, come on. I'd be happy to be wrong. Like, I don't like being wrong most of the time. This time, I'd be happy to be wrong.
Yeah, it's not something you want to be thinking about right now as the runner, but I could see a good, like, maybe 15% of the runners deciding to make that gamble instead of going to desert without boots. I could see it happening as a choice. It wouldn't be a good choice, but I could see it.
Well, the nice thing about coming over this area is we do have 4 items we can at least check, and there's the Moon Pearl. All right. So book to get Moon Pearl, but we still don't have Dark World access yet. We still need another glove or the hammer. So this could still easily be an Aga Seed, especially now that they have the cape, lantern, Moon Pearl. But let's talk about this. What are their options when they get to the Dark World? Pod? Catfish?
Hammerless pod is not always the best choice, but you don't really lose out on a lot. You can still full clear the items.
I'd say, I personally, I think I'd wait until we get a hook shot before I'd make the Aga assessment. But who knows? Because then, you could lift up the rock, and then you could hook shot across, and that gets you access to West Dark World.
This looks like it's on its way to being a bootless desert, so...
Yeah, Kyle now getting his book. While Jenja finding the big key. That is a bootless desert. So with that, they'll be able to go ahead and clear it.
Yeah, and 1 item found already, so it's just a 1 in 3 chance of the item being on the torch. And if it's not, then desert is done.
Ooh, I wonder what could be on that torch.
Hammer.
That would be hilarious.
Be cruel.
I wish it was like
it
that.
To be a sword.
I want it to be a sword. That'd be great. Boo.
It's the item, but it's not one that matters.
That's boring. All right, cool. So Jenny will be able to grab that Moon Pearl and then probably go ahead and check Agahnim's cave before heading out, because then they don't have to come back ever again. But yeah, what are our options now? Zora.
We got Zora.
I think it's an Agus. I think we're gonna have to. We're gonna have to go. Unless Agahnim's cave has something. What?
Did he just skip on killing Lamos?
Looks like it. I mean, he's already got both items. He has to do Meyer at some point. He has the mirror.
That's very true. It's not important.
He can just come back and finish that later. Yeah. I think it's good. It's a good play. Like if Desert was a pyramid fairy, maybe.
I guess if he does that, he will have a large amount of upgrades at that point, and we'll be able to kill Desert or Lamelas much easier. So overall,
And,
it is a better play.
Agnes Cave holding our bottle, so now all of a sudden Sick Kid is an option as well. And it looks like Jenya's going to be going for Moon Pearl in hand, can do all the fake flipper stuff. So who knows? This could be one of those seeds where a fake flipper could allow you to skip having to do Agate Tower. Which, you know, you'll love to see that happen. Because it's like, oh yeah, game, here's your logic. Now shove it. I don't care.
I will find it entertaining if the whole sequence break doesn't matter, but he gets it off of Zora to skip Agahnim.
That'd be perfect. That'd be hilarious.
Because then it will be, by logic, you should not have had done Agahnim. And if you chose to, you've made a terrible mistake.
Yeah, I can't imagine either of these players. I mean, like going all the way to check Sick Kid before.
Yeah,
I feel like you would just commit to Aga at that point.
Jenya has a lot of options right now. He hasn't even done the regular front half of Hyrule,
Yeah.
so. But comboing that in, he'll probably end up doing that, mirroring, and immediately go into Agahnim, since it seems like the best time to do it.
I mean, but that's the thing. It's like Aga is so slow. I mean, you have a fire rod, so you can take out like the ball and chain guy quicker. You have, you know, arrows to take out some of the other enemies a little bit quicker, or just keep fire rodding everybody. And then once again, you get to the Dark World. What do? Go into Pod. I mean, you have Lamp, and you have the bow, so you can do everything in Pod except complete it. So it's probably going to be where our answer is.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of going into Pod if you have the bow. Without it, it's a little awkward, but still sometimes worth it. But I could see that, because he has access to a minimum of 4 items in Pod.
Oh man, it looks like Kyle's going to go ahead and finish off Landmola, just so he can be done with this area and never have to come back.
He has a full magic bar for his fire rod, so it's not going to be a painful task.
Alright, first item from the sequence break. Bombs. Jenya pulling off the reverse fake flipper from Hobo. I remember when that wasn't a thing. Like, no one ever did it.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
surprisingly easy to learn.
It's very easy.
I actually have come up with a blindfolded strat for it, because I was watching Zelda,
really?
and I was going to try to help him out, but he didn't need it.
You just gotta make sure not to do it that one way. That causes you to screen wrap first, and then soft lock.
Basically, don't jump holding, I believe it's down.
Yeah.
Down is a dangerous... I think TGH does it holding down, and his strat works perfectly fine. So it's more of just, if you don't know what you're doing, don't hold down when you're jumping.
Yeah. Alright, anything of value? No! Still have Zora.
Not helped. Oh, wow.
Oh, nice double kill.
I don't know if he had enough magic to shoot that last shot. It looks like he does.
I think he might have. But yeah, that lingering hitbox from the fire rod shot. Alright, only a red rupee on the ledge, so Zora is either the answer or Aga.
Sick Kid is also an option still.
Yeah, but that's so far out of the way.
Yeah, I wouldn't check that.
Now, conveniently, if like Zora drops the flute or something,
that would be.
Maybe. Yeah, about 30 minutes in, we got our first 3 crystals. Here's Quake, which is potentially useful.
All right, you wanted an item. Here you go.
You walk up to Zora, you're like, please give me an item. Please give me an item.
Kyle
Here's an
is
item.
going for it.
All right, this is big for Kyle.
Yeah, most of the time this is the right play for Kyle, since I mean the fake flipper stuff could have been worth it, but as what we know, it's Sick Kid or Agahnim. And
now,
so this is looking really good for Kyle.
I wonder if Jenya's going to go ahead and do the beginning of Hyrule Castle, because he can check all that and then mirror out to go up and do Agahnim, or if he's just going to go straight for it.
I think it's a strong writing choice to go through the basement first.
Let's find out. Yep. All right. Cool. So this is pretty big for Kyle. This will allow him to, not only because he finished off Desert, but now, he's gonna have a pretty strong lead from this. Well, as long as these players end up going and getting that blue rupee out of Lumberjack Cave, then I'll be happy.
I really have a feeling you're not going to be happy, Will.
I'm never happy. No, this is pretty good.
Well, we get to watch an Aga Tower, which is very not frequent these days.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man. It's pretty exciting. Hey, chat, tell me a story while we sit through this. Keep me awake.
Unfortunately, these two chests aren't randomized because they're always small keys, but if we pester the devs enough, they might randomize it in.
Nah.
I'm kidding. They're already working on it. They're working on
a
mode for that.
Key Sanity's for, right?
Yeah. But they're working on a mode that'll have that as an option, I believe. Either it's going to be tied into open mode or it's going to be a side mode that'll have them going out right now. So it's good. I like it. But Kyle's, making his way through.
Yeah, Fire Rod makes this room a little bit, or this whole section a lot easier. I mean, you still have to wait for the poor soldiers to burn to a crisp and disappear in front of your eyes, which takes a little bit of time, but tragic.
Kyle not opting to use the pots on the red guard. Must have thrown them in the wrong directions by accident.
How long does an average Key Sandy seed usually take?
I would not played one, so I wouldn't know.
You would.
Kyle's average apparently is around 2 hours.
You would not play one? Is that what you just said?
I said I haven't played one.
I'm pretty sure I heard I would not play one. Do you hate Key Sanity? What's your problem? Do you hate fun?
I hate fun.
Do you see a challenge in front of you and you say, hey, this is dumb, I'm not doing it?
I just know I won't be able to...
Wow, disrespecting the devs.
Kyle's
they work so hard.
Kyle Key Sanity runs are insanely fast. It's terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they average between an hour and 50 and 2.5 hours, which is
that sounds like a good average to me.
It honestly really depends on if you find G Tower big key. If you can go mode all of G Tower, those usually tell a completely, are completely different than the other seeds. Or if it's like no, you got to go into G Tower to get a small key to go back to a previous dungeon to go get the big key. Kind of fun, but anyway, Aga fight, exciting stuff. No bug net, exciting stuff. A couple blue
bad
balls.
luck so far.
Exciting stuff.
RNG will be the same for both players though, so there's no big loss on seeing the number of blue balls coming out. So far we're at 2.
For those that didn't know, Key Sanity is a brand new mode that came out recently that basically shuffles in all the dungeons keys that are found in chests, as well as dungeon maps, big key, and dungeon compasses with the overworld items. So you could find a small key or the big key for G Tower in, at Helmastar King or something. It's pretty wacky.
Is Kyle getting unlucky here? Well, both players, I guess, but they are over the average. We're now at 5.
If this was an NMG, they'd probably reset.
I would have. Although I wouldn't have made it this far. Lamola hurts. I don't know if you know that.
Hera's kind of obnoxious.
I'm okay with Hera. It's Lamolas. I cannot fight that.
Well, it's not. No, wait, let me rephrase. It's not Hera. It's getting to Hera.
That's fair.
Those boulders will just come out of nowhere and knock you out. All right, let's find out what is on the Pyramid Legend. Find out what our answer is. I still think it's Pod.
Check in.
It's got to be Pod.
Yeah, Pod feels like a good choice right now. Although I'd still choose to route all the way to Catfish first.
Ooh, that's a nice item. Blue
Some
Tunic
sprite changes
on the pyramid. Going with blue hair now instead of green.
It's a quick dye job. I'm not gonna lie. That's impressive. It takes a lot of time to get your hair to change color.
Would you know that from experience? Is your hair currently blue, Futon?
No, I've not dyed my hair. I was making things up and you called me out.
Not even for prom? You didn't want to be like edgy at prom?
Nope. I was edgy around 12 when I got green tips to my hair because my baseball team's color is green.
Green tips.
Yeah, it was like a green gel.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like
was
permanent, kind of.
No, it was just
It
a
was
bit
just green styling gel.
for the day.
Is that like that green ketchup? Green and
What?
purple ketchup back in the day? Oh wait, you're Canadian. I don't think you guys had that. You missed out. No, you didn't. You did not miss out.
Does it change the flavor?
I mean, you can kind of taste the green a little bit, I guess. I don't know.
So Kyle has chosen not to go to Catfish.
It's a bit out of the way. But, I mean, the thing is, he could have... You know, maybe he'll find, like, flippers or something in Pod, and then he could do Catfish to Zora and then check the other stuff in there.
Yeah, I think he's looking for a hook shot right now.
Well, we are getting a Bowlox Pod.
I find that's very common nowadays. That bow lock to send you in. I don't believe it's possible to have the pod key lock that has been infamous for this version, because they already have the bow. But I could be wrong.
Shut up. We don't talk about that. We don't. Shh. What? There's no key lock. Oh. Alright, so Kyle only in the lead for a little bit, but yeah, we'll see. You know, as we always say in every single race, you know, if one player skips sections but then goes back on them to check them later, then that negates any sort of time save or advantage. So, you know, Kyle could still go back eventually and do all the Zora stuff, so we'll see.
Yeah.
But Pod's got to have something, right? Hammer, hook shot.
I am hoping hook shot right now. Keep them on their toes, make them go around.
Hammer would be pretty convenient though, because then they could just full clear this dungeon.
Yep. The Agahnim portal will not come into play because T-Rock is the other crystal for the big bomb. So the portal will not be required for that. How sad would you be to see a required item off the sick kid that could have skipped Agahnim?
I would laugh. I would laugh a lot. I would go into their IRC channel and say, ha 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 ha, but not tell them why. But they would know.
just say it in chat. While they're looking for that ice rod, desperately trying to find it as their last Go-Mode item. You just laugh at them. You're a bad person, Will.
What are you talking about? I haven't done anything. Well, no big keys. We're not going to see a hammer jump.
They got all the small keys to worry about too. That's all of them there, so there's no more small keys remaining. Just got a load of items coming up.
There's the boomerang. Not quite what we were looking for, but... Oh, nice of Jenja picking up a couple extra bombs on the way out.
Another bottle.
Sick kid. Alright. We only have a few things left. I don't think we've seen any of the dungeon items yet, have we? Map,
I don't think so.
Compass.
HLA Hat, thanks for the sub. I hope you're enjoying the race.
I like your hat. Alright, 3 more chests left to check, and then we're out of here. It's gotta be in here. It's gotta be something. Hammer? Nope.
Nope. Just some dungeon items.
Oh, you know what I want? Sword to go to Ether Tablet.
That's a little better.
That's fine. Alright, well... Wow, that opens up a lot of stuff all at once.
I'm starting to think that sick kid has nothing.
Yeah. Woof. But hey, now these players know, you know, Agate Tower was required to get those mitts out of Pod. And, oh no, Kyle forgetting, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, you have a mirror, you beat Aga, you kind of gotta mirror first before you save and quit, so... I personally still think it'd be a good idea to just
I'm
add pyramid to the list of things you can start from. So like Link's House, Sanctuary, Mountain,
Yeah,
pyramid.
I'm going into the suggestions doc and putting it in right now.
Good. Yes, it's not really that vanilla, but okay. So with Fire Rod, Kyle will be able to Fire Rod and Sword. You know, he will be able to do all of Skullwoods. I wonder if he'll make the play into Thieves Town without the hammer. It is a pendant, but you know it's Thieves Town. There are 4 items in there. Oh yeah, and Pedestal is still kind of a potential. You know, Ice Rod, Required Medallion, Kana Samaria, all potentially on there. We can't be Hammer. Can't be Hookshot. Can't be Flippers. Got a lot of options.
It's gonna be a nice rod.
It's gonna be a nice rod. Well, we had a wavy coin in the last race, apparently. Saw that during the credits. But we've already gotten the Quake Medallion, which was at Zora, so can't be a wavy coin this time. There's Jenja picking up their Titan mids, gonna pick up their Piece of Heart. Let's see if they remember to mirror out before saving and quitting. Yeah! Oh! To the pyramid for you!
You got baited!
Baited. Now, if I recall correctly, was that both items out of Skull Woods already, or?
I believe you only got the fire shield. I'm not. Oh no, you're right. He's got
yeah,
both.
I think you got something in the first chest.
He's going for that crystal now.
Alright, so let's talk about these required items we still need. We still need Ice Rod, we still need Kana Samaria, we still need Hookshot. Well, wait.
Technically required.
Can these players hover?
I have not seen either of them play long enough to see a hover, so
okay.
I wouldn't know. That'll be a fun surprise.
Hammer, Flipper. We might not need Flippers either because Swamp and Ice are both pendants.
And
do need Flute.
Your spots had anything important?
On Kyle opting to use the torch or the lamp. Save on magic for that Mothula fight. Good play.
Always a fan of that when you're walking this way with a fighter sword in hand. You don't want to. What the heck is that sprite?
It's a little fairy. Little fairy.
Pretty awesome. But yeah, that magic on Mothula will save him a lot of time because Mothula takes 16 fighter sword slashes, and each fire rod or spin does 2 of that. So, kind of want to save a lot of time by using the fire rod.
Yeah. Fortunately, our players also do have a green potion if things get rough.
Yeah.
And if you're on the brink of death, you know, they do have cape as well. But hopefully blue mail will be enough.
It's looking dangerous already. I believe he has a fairy as well. So
yeah, I saw that as well.
Won't be troublesome. Should be a kill no matter what happens.
Ooh.
Doesn't even use
Oh,
it.
wow. Whew. That was close.
It was a scary fight, but that worked out.
Alright, this is big. Kyle's, 4 crystals down already. Needs the hammer to finish pod, and then, flute and cane and whatever medallions need for Meyer, and then ice rod, cane, and whatever medallions to complete T-Rock plus hammer. So, Kyle, what's the next play?
Quake medallion?
Quake was at Zora.
Ah, yes, now I remember.
It looks like Kyle's opting to not check pedestal. I mean, it would be nice information to have, but we're still missing a lot of items to complete these pendant dungeons. But at the same time, we are very early in the seed. 45 minutes. I guess I wouldn't really count that as early.
Flipper, hookshot, and hammer away. If you have all of those items, you're just missing an ice rod and Samaria from beating the game.
I still want Aether Tablet to have something. Like, really bad. I really want that to be a thing.
If it was hammer, that would be really good information to have, because then you'd know you could go straight up there and complete everything up there, including Spike Cave. Maybe not T-Rock, but everything else. Aw,
Oh
Jenny
man,
getting bunny beamed before the
both-
vines were cut.
and both players getting bunny beamed in general.
Yeah, it's
Kind of annoying because it really
hard
depends
to
on
dodge
the.
that.
Yeah, it depends on the Moldorn's RNG. Sometimes they
Yeah.
just love to like fly right into you and get in the way.
Especially on Fighter Sword, when you can't just kill it outright. You
Mhm.
can only hit it once, so it could still push you right back in.
Jenya having to wait out the wall masters to make sure they don't get grabbed in the middle of the falling animation.
Yeah, it's usually
last thing-
something that has not been happened to any runner, but it's a horror story that you remember from other people.
Mhm.
You don't want to have that happen, clear all the way to Moth and get thrown all the way back to the start.
You especially don't want to go into this fight tilted.
No, it's a fight that requires patience with the spikes. You don't want to go in here upset with yourself and rushing it. That was a great fight by Jenya.
Mhm. Didn't even have to use that green potion at all. Alright, that is Jenya's third crystal. The only one they didn't finish Desert. They'll still have to go back and do that later. Once they find that flute.
Both players are pretty much tied in crystals, since Jenya has finished Desert for items and will clean it out the second they're doing Mire.
Oh, here we go. This is big. Jenya, gonna go ahead and check that pedestal. If this has an item, who knows when Kyle's gonna go back and check it. Couch cash, couch cash, couch cash.
Ooh, a sword.
Oh,
Vanilla sword-ish.
ish.
Currently, yes.
Okay, alright. So let's put the other two swords on the other two tablets.
You're a cruel person.
Oh man, that's huge. Nah, that's not really huge. It's big.
It can be big, because if there's a sword in Thieves, or not Thieves, well, Thieves' big chest, or Ice, something like that, where they don't go check it, and one of them's in G-Tower with a Master Sword, the other one hasn't found the sword from that Pendant dungeon, there won't be another sword to help that other person who's at the Master Sword, so you kind of, whoever gets the most swords now is going to be at an advantage through the rest of it, because Tempered to Gold, not a big deal, but Master Sword to Tempered is huge.
But I mean, yeah, but here's the thing. Look, we're still missing so many items to even consider doing Pendant dungeons right now. Like, if you're gonna stick with the logic, we obviously can't get into Swamp. We can get into Ice with a fake flipper, but we can't complete it without a hammer. So, I don't know.
I don't mind Kyle's choice not to check it at all, even though he had all the options. There's so little chance of it being required.
Mm-hmm. It's time to find out if Pendant Thieves Town is worth it. So we still are looking for 2 more swords. As well as a slew of other things.
Yeah, there's about, 7 items required before medallions? Got 1, 2, 3, 5 items before medallions, but we also need a sword, so that's 6. And potentially boots for 7.
Now, the thing is, there's still a ton of stuff left to do in the Dark World outside of doing Thieves Town. They could save the blacksmith. They can do digging game, hype cave, circle of bushes, stump kid.
Oh no! Mark the shovel, please, Kyle.
Did he find the shovel? He just found it.
I hope he doesn't forget it.
I mean, I can't imagine. He doesn't have the flute, so...
Forgets the shovel.
I know, right? Not us.
Not us. Neither of us have lost a tournament race to a shovel.
Yeah. Can't imagine forgetting shovel and then getting knocked out of the tournament. That would be unfortunate for...
I'm not sorry.
Alright, so... That's, what do we get? 3 items so far in Thieves Town? Or did we get... Is one of them a dungeon item?
I'll say, I saw a big key. There's that. Kind of required at this point, but, I saw it. I don't think I saw a map or a compass.
All right, so it seems that we have 2 more items left in here, so find out. Blind could be holding on to something. Oh, there's something. Cane of Samaria. Wow.
Huge.
That is a required item. Pendant Thieves Town coming into play. Never. That's why you never sleep on Pendant Thieves Town. Never. I feel like it's pretty rare that it's ever just 100% like not useful at all.
Yeah,
It's always got to have like something, right?
It's got a lot of options. I mean, I believe on average each item spot has around like a 17% chance of mattering, so the amount of in Thieves Town is kind of high.
Now, the question is, it's going to come down to, is Blind holding the last item? We know that this is going to be a small key regardless. But, you know, this could be a forced, well, not forced, but it could be a double, well, if Hammer's like in Mire or something, somehow.
Yeah, there's only one location for it could possibly be to be required for Kane, which is Vitreous, since you cannot get into T-Rock without the hammer.
Mm-hmm.
So this might not be, this is most likely not a forced double dip Thieves Town. Jenya chose to skip it entirely, by the way. He's going straight down.
Okay.
Finally out of Kyle's shadow and looking through items. Did he skip? I guess he's going to double back and do the shovel game.
I guess. I don't know. There's a third bottle.
It's yelling at them to go check that sick kid.
They did. He had bombs.
Check him again.
I brought you another bottle. He's like, go away, please. What if you could just keep on going back to him over and over again?
Oh my.
Jeez! Pendant Thieves Town. Cane of Samaria and Hookshot.
That could lead Kyle into a useless swamp, though, if he finds Flippers and Hammer.
That is true.
Because technically, that could be Jenya's Go-Mode item, heading towards G-Tower and save him a lot of time.
But here's the thing. That Hookshot will get him up to East Death Mountain, where you can do all that, and East Death Mountain Dark World, checking Hookshot Cave, finding out what medallion he needs for T-Rock. Oh man, there's the Flippers in Hype Cave.
Hope Kyle doesn't find that hammer until he really needs it.
Oh man, the seed is starting to really open up all of a sudden. All it took was those Titan mitts in a pod.
Yeah. Sometimes the seed opening up though can be a little scary because it might lead you to the wrong direction.
Oh yeah, I mean that's part of it. So much luck is involved that you make the right routing option. And I mean, we're still looking for that hammer. So, oh man, you know, what'd be awesome. One of the rare like hammer Go-Mode seeds. I love those. Just kidding, I hate them. But it would be really interesting.
Flipper is the only real item that Jenya found in all this, so I'm assuming he's going to double back. He might actually do the... Why didn't he grab the blacksmith for this? That's interesting.
Yeah, it's a very interesting route from Jenya.
I've never seen this
So
route
he did
before.
Circle Bushes, Hype Cave, then back to Stump Kid, Digging Game. What?
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't just put this all together by jumping down, doing digging game, getting the blacksmith with the traditional route.
Maybe he's hoping to find the hammer along the way or something.
Oh yeah, maybe.
I
Let's
don't
do
know.
that peg cave all at once.
What? We'll ask him later. Jenya, unfortunate dig forcing him to pick up that bomb upgrade. Seconds dwindling away. Will he ever be able to make up those seconds from picking up that bomb upgrade? Too early to tell.
So I think we're already at the point where the only thing that could be at the Pyramid Fairy would be a Mire Medallion or the Flute. Or Flipper.
Right.
Sorry.
That's true.
Everything else has to be before T-Rock. Could still be Pendant, but... Or pedestal. Well, I guess we checked the pedestal, but it could be in a Pendant dungeon late in there. But otherwise, it's kind of all accounted for prior to T-Rock.
Yeah, and the question is, if that Quake Medallion actually comes into play, that's going to be a pretty big advantage for Jenya, because who knows when Kyle's going to end up going over to the Zora area.
Yeah, and he got the flippers and might route himself up to... Has he checked? No, he hasn't checked Catfish, so he might route himself to Catfish and mirror there, which will get him with the same stuff, but he'll skip out on the Hobo and the Island check, which we know is nothing, but it might make Kyle spend even more time doing the flipper stuff later on.
Mm-hmm. Well, he still has to make his way down to Hype Cave, and it looks like he's routing the big chest down to Hype Cave. Jenya's the only one that has the flippers at the moment, so... But yeah, some interesting Dark World routing from both these guys. I think Kyle's is the more standard one. Thieves Town, Dig Game, Frog, etc., etc.
Jenya's choice here leaves the purple chest behind. See if he goes back to pick it up here, or if he's just going to go somewhere else.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part about, not having a hammer and wanting to check back cave. It's like, well, pick one.
Yeah, it's really tough. It's fun to get hammer in there though, because then you can come right back out, hammer it, and move on, get your portal back. But that's so rare. You can't count on that.
No. Yeah, that's the thing about Pendant Thieves Town. It's like, well, just Thieves Town in general. You're worried going in there without a hammer because you're like, oh, what if Big Chest has something? I don't want to waste time, going in there and then having to double back later once I get the hammer. But then you get these these situations where you get all 4 items and 2 of the items are like definitely required.
Yeah, it looks like Jenja was desperately hoping to find that hammer before going into Thieves, so I guess he isn't too worn out on skipping on that blacksmith right now. Because his route will actually just line up being about the same.
And he'll fortunately get bailed out by getting all 4 items, so...
One downside for him is that shovel is kind of out of the way for every route now.
Well, if he picks up the purple chest... Yeah, that's true, because it's either walk all the way down with that purple chest to go check shovel spot, or save and quit, turn in purple chest. Yeah. Yeah, it's a little bit more efficient routing for Kyle, since he based on his choice.
I could see Jenya's working out if he got a little luckier on the item drops, but it didn't really pan out that way.
Alright, let's see what's in the lunchbox.
Is he going to check Bombos?
Please. He better.
Willard, no one likes information. It's dead, stop it.
Ooh. That's some value. Half magic.
It's a good safety, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
He's checking it.
Alright. Yeah, because he still has to go over to Hype Cave. But yeah, I wonder. Because we saw a hammer in Swamp recently, didn't we?
Full container. So there are some options still. All of Darkwill Death Mountain is available.
Ooh, flippers, mitts, fire rod, go planet. Go Ice Palace.
It's a pretty good call. I kind of like that choice overall.
I mean,
Ice Palace usually has items.
This could be one of those, hammer in the double freezer room scenarios. Very popular. I personally would probably go up and do Death Mountain next.
Yeah, Darkworld Death Mountain is 6 items for sure. You get intel on the T-Rock medallion, which is extremely important to them right now.
But at the same time, not having hammer go into Ice Palace and it being dependent is like, well, I don't have to finish this. So
they also haven't gone to Lightworld Death Mountain.
Oh yeah, that is true. So that's, we got 7 chests in Paradox Cave, Spiral Cave, so that's 8, plus 2 for Super Bunnies, so that's 10, plus the 4 in Hookshot Cave, plus, Floating Island, since we haven't seen
Oh yeah, Floating Island, so that'll be 14. Spike Cave is also an option, so 15 total item locations available to them right now on that. Well, and Biologic too, since Kyle found half magic with his cape. Or, I guess, had a bottle.
He still needs to find the hammer before he can check Spike Cave.
True.
But yeah.
What am I talking about?
It's okay, I forgive you. Alright. Kyle's going to be checking out all this fancy water stuff now, so, him skipping it earlier, all of a sudden evening out for Jenja. Or for the both of them.
Jenya will be happy to find his hookshot since he's going to finish the dungeon, and it'll tell him that he doesn't have to come back for that big chest. And Kyle is going to work his way around to find his wavy chip.
Yeah, unfortunately for Kyle, since he did not check Lake Hylia Island earlier, that's why he mirrored to get it, because he didn't know what it was. Because otherwise he could have jumped in the water, routed up to Catfish. But then, no, he already did North of Graveyard, so, yeah. When would you route Catfish is the thing.
That's one of the reasons I don't like snoozing on Catfish when you have to walk around there. It's kind of annoying to get to at all times, so once you're there, you might as well pick it up before you're out of options.
Yeah. And we got a clean blind fight from Jenya, picking up that hook shot. So, what's next, Jenya? What is your option? Where are you gonna go? You gonna save and quit?
That's a mountain check, I would assume.
That is, yeah. Can't imagine it being anything else. So, gonna be skipping down that purple chest. So no half magic for Jenya for the time being.
I have a feeling he won't be finding that for the rest of the race. Unless it's an extra trolley seed and he starts, scraping at his options trying to find that last item.
And Kyle picking up his potentially useful or potentially useless Quake Medallion. Oh, now something worth noting. When you have a pesky Dead Rock in your way, you can actually combo them with the hook shot and push them all the way out of the way. You can hit them multiple times and they won't freeze until... If you're... Like, you can hit them twice, and then they'll freeze, so...
Yep.
You can do the same with sword beams as well.
I believe so long as they're flickering, you can still hit them. Kyle right behind Jenya on this checking of the Dark World Death Mountain and Light World Death Mountain.
Kyle following closely behind. But going to be routing it a little differently by doing the setup, which I like the setup.
Yeah, he's not choosing to leave the mirror there right away, but it's about the same.
Honestly, I personally would check the Dark World stuff first, because I feel like they have more value at this point in the race. But we just got the bug net, and that's pretty valuable. We got 300 rupees, that's pretty valuable.
To me, you're going to check it all anyway, so it doesn't fully matter, just whichever is the most mathematically fastest. I just don't know what that is. I've never actually done the math.
I believe the term is optimal.
That one.
Math? Come on, get out of here.
Excuse me. Math is a very respectable...
We do not have time for math. We got video games. We got Ganons to kill. Yes, multiple.
There will be 2 dying on the stream, I would assume.
We can only hope. Kyle gonna go ahead and check that floating island first before diving into Hookshot Cave. Ooh.
Maybe.
Once he checks this, what is it? Quake? Ether.
Ether. So T-Rock is available to him. Ice Rod, nowhere to be found though. Not available to him. No hammer. I'm bad at this.
It'd be funny if Quake was actually useless entirely.
That would be mean. Ooh, we got
Red
our mail.
tag.
My favorite version of the sprite for Kyle. Just looks a lot better with red eyes.
Like the Demon Link.
Oh, there it is. Okay, so see what I mean? T-Rock was available to them right now.
Yeah.
You could see it. He's like, oh no.
What do I do?
No.
What, Kyle?
He didn't check the island though.
He did. It was a bomb.
Mirror there. Oh, he did. Okay, I missed it.
He
I
checked
was
before
too
it.
busy being upset with my choices.
Oh my god, this is terrifying. I wonder... Oh man, what do you do? What do you check?
He's going all in on this. Is he gonna pull the bait and switch where he goes in to pretend to do it and then goes off to Spiral Cave anyways? Because opening the door is a valuable choice to make. Oh no, he's going right in.
He's got that cane out. He's committing. This is big. This is a huge, pretty big commitment right at this point. But if It's still it's not really early, but there's a lot of chests you could check in here. And, you know, he might not be 100% looking for the Ice Rod right now. You know, we could find the flute, or what else are we looking for? Another
Boots.
sword?
So technically boots, sort of, maybe? Could be important for G-Tower. There's a 1 in 22 chance that boots are required for this seed. Jenja is going to finally give us our first real split in routing choices. All those other choices didn't really end up mattering because they kind of back over each other, but this one's going to be the big one.
Oh, could you imagine if Ice Rod was in Spiral Cave the whole time?
Oh no, that would be a heartbreaker.
That happened to me once. I was doing an SRL race, and I went into, oh my gosh, I was looking for Ice Rod and Flute, and I went for the T-Rock play, and then both of those ended up being in Super Bunny and Hookshot Cave. I don't know why I didn't check those before going into T-Rock. I guess I was trying to be cheeky, but never again. It was awful.
Bad at video games.
Yeah, pretty bad. That's why I'm not in the tourney.
That's fair.
Fair enough.
So far we found, I believe, the big key and 2 small keys. I'm not too sure if I saw that first chest correctly.
I believe it was Trinex was in the first chest.
Trinex was, okay, that's weird, but sure. It was not a big key, so it must have been an item.
Yeah,
50
half magic.
rupees.
Well, can't really talk about fighting Trinex yet. We're not there yet. But it looks
Now
like...
we are.
Oh my god.
And Jenja's right there with him!
What a scene.
I just want some divergence. Is that too much to ask?
No, too bad. You're not getting it. Alright, so... Honestly, it was a pretty big risk, but... All the pieces lined up perfectly for this. But here's the fun part. We're going to get to see, unless we find like another sword or two, we're going to be able to see the hammer strats for Trinex in this fight. And, you know, I feel like we're going to find the flute on like Laser Bridge or something while we're here and just hit go mode all of a sudden.
That would be a very sudden go mode. Although there's a 1 in 3 chance that it still wouldn't be with that medallion potential.
That's true. It could be bomb bust required.
The big thing here, though, is Kyle's half magic might be a difference maker by a large portion. Because if Jenja has several attempts of trouble with that no magic hammer strats, then it'll be a little bit of a blown open lead for Kyle. But otherwise, it'll still be a close race. It shouldn't be too difficult for Jenja to get that fight. We'll have to see when he gets to it.
So we still need at least one more sword upgrade. We definitely need the flute. We still might need a medallion. And we still might need the boots, but we don't know. At this point, I would say no.
Chad has a really good point. Jenja had no trouble with Moth. He has a green potion still, so the half magic benefit is actually completely nullified.
Honestly, even with hammer strats, you know, the fight's not that bad. Like, I can't imagine even half magic is a luxury.
It is. It is a luxury, but you can.
And especially with both these players, you know,
this far in the main tourney, yeah.
Now the
that
question
green potion
is,
could see its way all the way to Ganon.
Oh yeah, or just stay in his inventory the entire game. But the question is, with that hammer now, we have all of Swamp. We have all of Ice Palace, but is this going to be one of those rare seeds that only requires 1 Pendant dungeon? I guess it's not rare. That seems to be the case a lot of times. So the rare ones are the ones that require 0 Pendant dungeons.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what's left for them to find that flute in. Neither of them have even looked at Ether still, so there's your little wishful thinking. If I were to guess, though, I would put flute in Ice Palace.
Mm-hmm. Like on Cold Stare or something?
On Cold Stare, yeah, that sounds about right.
Because I mean, especially now that we have the hammer, those two places look suddenly very, far more valuable. Obviously, because you can complete all of it. I don't think there's still an item because we still have to go back and finish off Helmastar King, but I don't think he has an item. I think he has one of the dungeon items. I could be wrong.
I believe that was a dungeon item remaining. I
Okay.
don't know for sure though.
But here's another thing: with the completion of this dungeon, Pyramid Fairy might have our next set of items. So who knows?
A little benefit to the half magic here is Kyle doesn't have to even think about. Oh, well, that was unfortunate.
Oh, right the last second.
He got sniped. He's getting bullied now.
Oh, that's two.
He got lucky on that hit too. He was still just in the wedge of the door, so he didn't get thrown off.
For the laser bridge, the only things that are required are you need cape or Cane of Burna or mirror.
Shield.
And yeah, mirror shield. Sorry, I felt like that was obvious. I was obviously talking about the mirror shield.
Just want to be
Come on.
specific.
Futon, please. I don't know if I think it's only Spike Cave where bottles and half magic come into play. I could be
Yeah,
wrong.
because you're spending too much time on the spikes to be able to make it through on one magic bar.
Yeah.
So you're expected to either stop behind a torch, which is in fact possible, and not many people know that. You can either stop behind a torch to use your bottle, or you have half magic to make it through.
Alright, we're seeing these hammer strats from Kyle. Already one down.
Very successful first head there.
Yeah. Dealing with the ice is kind of annoying, especially
Yeah.
with hammer.
Might only get 1 or 2 hits per round because of it.
Yeah, because every time he'll drop the ice and then he'll sidestep to the left. And you're like, come on, come back over here.
Oh, there we go.
That's
Locked
for sure.
it back over. Easy 3 hits there, so that's the end of that head.
And fortunately killing him with the hammer out so he'll be able to finish off the other phase of Trinex with the hammer. So that's good.
This is always something that scares me, but they've got red mail, so they'll be fine.
Trinex is probably one of my favorite fights. I remember it always giving me trouble as a small baby boy, but
I believe he still has
Now-
a fairy, so that wouldn't have gone bad either way. But he does get the kill before it gets used. Oh, I had a feeling. I thought it was Laser Bridge, but Boots at Trinex.
oh wow.
I was
Now, with
expecting him
that-
to be Laser Bridge, though.
Do you check King's Human Bonk Rocks next?
Oh, yeah,
Do you,
for sure.
do you check Pyramid Fairy next? What do you do? We
Go eat your tablet.
we need that flute, and it could be in a lot of places. But yeah, we do
Ether
still have.
tablet is coming up.
He still also has to do all of the Light World East Death Mountain. But it looks like he's gonna skip it.
I believe he... Did he not start at that section?
No, he went straight Dark World.
Maybe he mirrored and cleared it up afterwards. I don't fully remember.
Jenja using up their using up their fairy. Yeah,
It's a bee. We found
Laser
our last
Bridge.
bottle.
Laser Bridge is kind of a pain in the butt when you have limited magic. So yeah, that thing I was talking about earlier, the whole half magic difference maker. It wasn't about Trinex. It was about the Laser Bridge.
That's very true. I'm having a lot of trouble with those floors. They can be kind of obnoxious to walk on. Maybe he just wanted the iframes. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, and also dealing with these floors using the sprite can be a little frustrating since Sprite's a little bit wider than the Link sprite.
Yeah. Kyle saving and quitting. Hopefully, actually, it's kind of better for him if he forgets the mountain entirely because there's nothing there for him.
Mm-hmm.
But I could see him going back to that later and going, "Oh no, what have I forgotten?" and wasting time there.
It's still an interesting play overall.
Yeah, so the Ether Spike Cave into the Bonkables over here will be the follow-up to his play.
All right, looks like he's gonna go for Bonk Rocks and probably King's Tomb. mean, you just got the boots, so suddenly we got some new valuable items coming up. Man, where is that flute gonna be? Because this could come down to a 50-50 of ice over swamp.
Yeah, it really could.
And, you know, it's you know, partially one of the frustrating parts about the game is losing to these 50-50s. But that's just, you know, that's just part of it. It's... Wow, kudos to Jenja using their last bit of magic to finish off the magic required section of Trinex.
Yep, he's sure keeping that bottle. He might not even remember he has it anymore. Is it... what time is it for... oh, we're going for the Pyramid Fairy for Kyle. I forgot we've unlocked that now.
Yep.
So a good place to check for that flute. It's often a required location.
Man, just think if either of these players had skipped Thieves Town initially. I mean, Jenja skipped it initially, but like, just still gone and done other stuff. Like, well, there wasn't really any good options at the time, because like, it's just how valuable the hookshot is for both swamp and ice. So.
Yeah, with bomb strats, you can get through most of the hookshot. Well, all of the hookshot stuff with Ice Palace. You kind of need some specific bomb jump knowledge that I don't personally have, but...
Alright, Pyramid Fairy, what are you holding for us? Red Rupee!
Nothing.
Air upgrade!
The big nothing.
Man, this... depending on where that flute is, and as well as where those swords could, you know, end up being, this could come down to a difference of sword upgrades. I see Jenja is going for the swamp play, so
yeah,
committing to this 50-50.
Kyle's choice.
This could be the play that either makes or breaks the race for him.
Yeah, if Kyle goes ice here, whoever finds the swords, if there are any swords in those pendants, could just win off of that alone.
I mean, the thing is, like, if you're really looking for a sword, you could just Go-Mode both ice and swamp and get the Master Sword out of the pedestal. But that seems like a very silly play.
Yeah, with Mothula dead for both those players, that's not really a good choice.
You just gotta gamble on a sword and G-Tower.
Nothing
Big
from
toy.
Catfish.
And I'm assuming Kyle's gonna go for the Ice Palace play then.
Yeah, he's swimming over.
Wow, this is the divergence that you wanted, Futon.
It is, but this is whoever gets the divergence correctly wins, just outright, which is kind of terrifying. I guess they don't technically win outright because we still have a medallion to check, and that's about it. Just a medallion. Sword upgrades, that's it.
If there ever was a divergence to have in a race, this is the one. This is the 50-50. One of these is going to be right. One of these is going to be wrong. One could be like kind of right. Like, let's say Kyle finds a sword, but Jenja finds the flute. You know, who knows what happens?
Feeling strongly for Jenja's pick, even though I believed the flute would be an Ice Palace, just because there is just more in Swamp, generally.
A really
big key. That's always good to have. You don't want to think about that. Prefer a small key, though.
I mean, fortunately, both these players picking up the boots from Trinex will make at least going through these pendant dungeons a little bit quicker than had they gone in before doing T-Rock. Arrow upgrade, or bomb upgrade for Jenja. I mean, this could even be like a Sahasrara has the next item. Forest Argus, who knows?
Yeah, we know for a fact that the tablets are out of play, so there has to be a sword either in these or GT, or a location they just haven't checked yet. But it won't be locked behind more swords.
I mean, that B-Torp in Ether is kind of important.
Yeah,
Okay.
can't leave him behind. Poor guy.
Yeah.
So here comes the flurry of chests for Jenya. See if he finds anything good.
I mean, for these players, the perfect scenario would be that both these dungeons are required, in a sense. Like, one is the flute, and the other one has, like, a required sword or actually, better yet, like a required medallion.
If there is a required sword in one of these, whoever chooses to go for the flute one is probably going to lose. Because the person who goes in and gets their sword, then their flute, won't have to worry about any backtrack in GT at all. Well, I guess you wouldn't be backtracking in GT, it would be for Ganon, but still.
Kyle find a small key in the double freezer room, so he's going to be able to go clear the right side a little bit quicker.
Yeah, you hate to have no keys at this point, because then you have to do the annoying drop down, circle around route. Jenya not getting any luck in Swamp yet, but he still has, I believe, 3 items remaining.
Oh no. I think that's a forced left side then.
Yeah, that's definitely a forced left side. He's already got the big key and the compass now.
Another small key. Now here's the thing. The difference between these two bosses, given their situation. Hammer Argus is awful. Mirror Shield,
That's not looking good for Kyle. I think there's only one. There might be 1 or 2 items left. I believe it's 2.
No, I think he found big key, small key, mirror. So I think he still has 2 at this point.
Yeah, this will probably be another item right here. Oh no.
Oh,
no.
That's disgusting.
That is just gross.
I'm sorry, Kyle.
What
Doesn't
chest has he
matter.
not done? The double jellies, I believe?
He has big key, double jellies, and cold stare at this point.
Will he needs the bomb jump to be able to check that double jellies, doesn't he? At this point. Oh my god, there it is.
Wow. All right, that's all 3 items. And
That's
you know, what if the
fake
mushroom?
Go-Mode.
What if the mushroom leads to like a sword or something? Oh, this is big. Kyle, so far as we know, has won the 50-50 of finding that progression that they need to at least take the next step. Now the question is, what is required for Meyer, and where are the rest of those dang swords?
Those swords could haunt them, because I've seen several races already in this tournament where people go into GT with just the fighter sword and it is not there.
Mm-hmm. Or you know, you go into G Tower and big key is like boom immediately, and you're like, oh, I gotta keep checking more stuff, looking for the next, looking for a sword upgrade. So you end up wasting more time checking that stuff. Oh man.
I would be tempted if I was Kyle to just turn this flute right in, or the mushroom right in, and check it out. Oh, there's a sword.
Oh god.
There is 1 sword remaining for Kyle to find all the way through the rest of the game if he does not go to Swamp. So I think Jenya might actually take this because of that.
Hey, you remember that thing that we said that we wanted each of the dungeons to have something that was technically required? Well, there it is. So now it all comes down to A, what is required for Meyer, and B, is Kyle going to get bailed out by a sword upgrade somewhere else? That last sword. We know we already have 2. One's in the pedestal. Where's that last one?
The witch not giving him an item, but gives him a chance to buy some blues.
Yeah, Jenya going for the Pyramid Fairy check, which we know was not worth it. Okay, guys, moment of truth. Is it Bombos for Meyer? Is this, or are we in Commentator's Go mode? It is Quake.
That is minus the sword, a go mode for Kyle. Although he is definitely going to be searching for a sword desperately, because you do not want to go behind GT without.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
a scary concept, especially knowing that there's only 1 remaining sword in the game.
This is like a sickening feeling. I'm like feeling like starting to feel sick to my stomach. Just how an hour and 24 minutes in, and you still only have 1 sword. That's ridiculous. But yeah, now it depends on when Jenya decides to go ahead and hop into Ice Palace.
Kyle didn't check pedestal.
No, he did not.
He thinks there's more swords. Well, he thinks all 3 swords are right there, whereas Jenya knows there is 1 sword remaining for him, and it is most likely not going to be found.
Well, here's the thing. At this rate, we're probably going to see like a Master Sword Silverless Ganon fight, unless we just find Silver somewhere conveniently. And you got to be thinking, like,
probably.
At what point, like, you know, for Kyle, he's in go mode, quote unquote, but is he going to keep checking, looking for another sword, or just gamble on G Tower having it?
Well, with Meyer being the way it is, I'm sure he's gonna. Well, that's actually a good question, because if you get the perfect Meyer,
do you just go for it?
Yeah. Do you go for it, or do you spend another 3 minutes going through all these chests getting nothing? Because that's 2 items in some long dungeon. That's kind of a bad deal. But when you're looking at if you don't find the sword, you lose, it's kind of a good deal.
Well, also worth pointing out, Sahasrahla only had a big 20, so thanks for nothing, Sahasrahla.
Yeah, the only payout to swap was Argus holding that Master Sword. And confirm the map is on Helmasaur, so there is no item in here for Jenya.
Alright, no quick big key for Kyle, so
which is good news for him.
Uh-huh.
Don't want to have to make that choice. Especially because Jenya probably would make that choice when he gets there.
Mm-hmm.
You got a Master Sword, you've got enough.
For Kyle's sake, I can only assume that he doesn't want a quick G Tower big key, like first chest or something, because he's definitely wanting to check as many chests as he can along the way. But yeah, that's kind of brutal to put. So far, 2 swords are pendant required, because 1 is on pendant Argus, and then 1's in the pedestal. So, you know, forcing you, unless like the last sword is, you know, readily available, like outside of G Tower, like that's a forced, you know, fighter sword hammer Argus, which is just it's kind of gross.
It looks like things, the way they're playing out for Kyle, it looks like there's going to be an item on Vitreous. Not confirmed yet, but it seems like that's where it's going to be. So if it was a quick Meyer, it actually could have been just fine.
And interesting choice of Jenya going ahead and killing Helmstar. I don't know if he's thinking that he has an item or just wanting to clear it up so he can just kind of relax and think about something else before having to commit to, you know, Ice Palace or more Overworld. Oh, and a vanilla big key in Meyer.
He has to do it anyways at this point in time. He has the green pendant, so it's worth turning it in. And it's a good thing to do if you're like still trying to think about your options, is just knock out something you have to do anyways.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's true with the green pendant. That makes more sense for his routing. Alright. Kyle's gonna full clear this dungeon.
Yeah, there's 1 item remaining. The big chest might be a map. It's Bombos. How great.
Wonderful.
Thanks, game.
At this point, for Jenya, once he gets the flute, he's in go mode.
Yeah. And
there's no reason to kill Cold Stare and go get a Tempered Sword. These players are both good enough to do Master Sword Silverless Ganon easily.
Yeah, exactly. With Jenya hasn't done Lamb Molas, but that's just a free kill at this point. So he is going to be catching up with Kyle really quickly, and most certainly passing him at some point if Kyle can't find a sword in a weird spot that Jenya doesn't check.
But yeah, I don't know. It all depends on personal preference. If these players feel comfortable enough, well, if Jenny feels comfortable enough doing potentially Master Sword serverless, then they'll just go straight to G Tower after they get all their crystals. But you know, at the same time, like you have to head to Kakariko anyway to activate that flute. You know,
the interesting thing is for him is it's not even Master Sword silverless, but I know he has a green potion, but it's also not even half magic.
True.
He has no safeties aside from a cape and some bottles going into that fight.
Did he use the green potion, or is he still holding on to that? No, did he?
I think he held on to it.
Okay. We see some half magic cape strats. You know, without silvers, you know, it's a lot of arrows that you have to use. But yeah, fighter sword spins on Atreus.
It normally takes 35 arrows with just the regular bow, but
now
he had 40, kind of questionable.
He's gonna go ahead and clean up with the arrows.
It's a good choice. Save himself some time since he's out of magic. Overall, a good quick fight for Kyle with the items that he has available to him.
Yeah, no real value of no valuable items in Meyer, so
Jenja is skipping the bomb jump here. It's not going to come into play at all, but it's just interesting to see that he has chosen to do that.
So all Kyle has to do now is go to pod, and he'll be heading to G Tower and just gambling on a sword up there. Oh my gosh, we've seen miracles happen before. We've seen players getting bailed out at the last second. So
from validation chests, no less.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like in the big tiebreaker race.
Yeah.
Prior he skipped the sword on the way to Argus, and then found a sword in the very last chest of the game. Dude, that would have been huge.
The interesting thing for Kyle too is if he does find a sword in the upper half of GT, Jenja will probably not be checking those chests, and therefore, well, he might decide.
I think he probably would.
Yeah.
If you could find silvers on the way up,
or a tempered sword,
it's definitely worth at least checking all the gauntlet, like the ones up the gauntlet, no doubt.
It's an interesting choice that some runners wouldn't take, some runners would. So we'll see.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing that.
Because for him, he knows there's only one sword, one silvers as the objects he could find in GT that help him. So it's kind of does he get it? And if he finds silvers early and Kyle also gets silvers, then he might not even check for the sword anymore.
Well, I believe Jenja skipped the chest on the left side in Swamp, so silvers could have been over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, we've pretty much done everything. I mean, we've seen pretty much everything in the overworld minus left side Swamp, and so you definitely see something in G Tower, right? Another sword, maybe.
I want to see a sword there just to try to help balance this one out, because it's not gonna look good for Kyle if he can't find one.
Sword and tile room.
No, we want big key to be in tile room so that both players check all the chests. Because every chest that Jenja doesn't check is a big time save.
Kyle? Or not Jenja. No, not Kyle, Jenja. Sorry. I got he was going for the switch when they need to go down to the jelly room.
Some habits, like when you click that switch after hookshotting across an ice and you're not even planning to go to that chest that you unlocked from it.
Kyle getting a decent turtle room, getting all of them taken out before any of them had a chance to flip over, so using just hammer strats. Pretty good.
It's really good. I thought that last one would flip up.
Mm-hmm. Frame perfect. Oh, nice bomb jump to get back across. Jenja now about to get their flute, and moment of truth, will they go ahead and kill Cold Stare? They got to be feeling pretty behind after doing all of Swamp, but at the same time, that sword. Nope. No sword. No thanks.
Helma's not sitting still for Kyle whatsoever.
Yeah, they don't really have a. It's either 8 arrows or if you could do the hammer pokes, which is what it looks like he's going for. 4
He's,
hammer pokes.
Looked like he was going for some iframes there on walking into him and then hammering away.
Well, here's something we're thinking about. The time it would take to go to Cold Stare and then kill him with Fire Rod, but no bombos or half magic. So you'd have to use either Master Sword or Hammer strats to clear him. Nah.
Yeah, the time you lose fighting Cold Stare in that situation is probably made up for by the sword, but you also have to run to the pedestal and pick it up at the same time.
Mm-hmm. So we've got a big moment in the race at this point. Kyle is now going to be heading to G Tower, and there are 22 chests on the bottom floor, one of which will be holding a big key. And he's going to be looking for that big key, but at the same time, he's going to be hoping that he doesn't find it too quick, because he wants to find that beautiful sword that will allow him to beat the game. God, could you imagine if both swords were in Swamp? Like one was on the left side?
That would be heartbreaking.
Yeah. So, but anyway, at this point, guys, go ahead and throw in your guesses on where you think that big key is going to be. 1 through 22. Yeah, Jenja still has to do all of Mire and finish Desert at this point, so Kyle has a lot of time to full clear as much of G-Tower as they need to look for that sword, but we'll see.
Yeah, he's got a decent buffer here to get the sword deep into GT, but he still wants to find the big key in the sword. Hopefully for him, he finds the big key midway through and then the sword right after, so that it's a sword that Jenja doesn't pick up, but we'll see how that plays out. It's looking like it could go either way with the swords.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, Jenja taking a hit, losing the sword beam, so it's gonna slow down this room a little bit more.
Yeah, and the Popo down here is just running away. Look at that.
What a jerk. Wow, when's the last time we've seen someone go into G-Tower without a sword? In this tournament.
I've casted one. I don't remember which one it was, though. But it was I felt bad. Because I made a joke about it, and then it happened.
You're such a jerk. That was the other item in Mire, I was wondering. So, just that and bombos. Alright, chest number 1 is a big 20. Chest number 2, a small key.
Opting to go left. Interesting.
And, playing smart, not opening up that middle door, which is always a trap. Never do it.
You don't kill Bob for that 1 rupee, do you?
At this, maybe in an SRL race, yes. In a tourney race, no. That's straight silly. Chest number 4, heart piece. Chest number 5, another small key. We're gonna keep going. Chest number 6, a heart piece. Where is this sword? Where is this big key?
It's a lot of keys early.
Yeah, chest number 7, another small key. Heading on to chest number 8, the double firebar room.
I gotta be feeling that tower room big key already. Oh,
that's good.
That's good news for Jenja more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
He is ready for this fight now. If he doesn't pick right side first.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like if big key ends up being like on the right side, he might skip that entirely.
Yeah, Kyle needs big key right side with sword and silver's left side, with Jenja going left side or right side, sorry, to even it all up on the weapon count.
We have switched over to Kyle's audio. Big 20 in chest number 9. I had to do a real quick count in my head.
I did.
I know what's in the. I know what's in the right room.
I've definitely caused a mod to be wrong about the count before, so.
10 heart piece. 11 10 arrows. 12 Berta. 13 big 20. Okay. We're more than halfway through the chests.
And
Still
Kyle
no
is
sword.
nervous.
I can't blame him.
I would be so nervous at this point. There is, what, 9 lower plus the big chest plus the 4 upstairs for a total of 14 possible swords remaining before you take out the dungeon items.
Jenny now picking up their big key so they can go take out Vitreous and get their 6 crystal. Alright, we're moving on
Going
to chest
straight
number 14.
Jenja won't be picking up a bombos.
Bob's dead. Oh, hi, Bub. 14.
We created
Big 20. Alright. Oh gosh, this is so nerve-wracking. Convenient silver arrow, fine. Right before Ice Harmless is nice too.
Yep. It's gonna be a slightly annoying fight. Oh no, you got it lined up anyways.
Chest number 15 is a heart container. 16. 10 arrows. 17. A small key. Okay, so it is on the right side.
Problem is, he didn't find a sword on the left, so if he does find a sword, there's a good chance that Jenja picks it up as well.
Mm-hmm. And the difference between Master Sword and Tempered Sword Ganon it's pretty big, but, you know, that only matters if Jenja gets the silvers as well.
Yeah, the difference being 24 slashes and 12 spins with Tempered versus 48 spins on a Master Sword.
Ugh. Disgusting.
Just doesn't sound pleasant.
That's an interesting way of routing this room.
He's got a lot of time to spare because he just excellent movement throughout the whole room.
Nice. I've never seen that middle torch lit first. All right, what chest are we moving on to next? I already forgot.
I believe this is
Too hard.
18.
Big 20. 3 hundo. Big key. Dungeon man.
Does he do tile room?
He's got the key, so he didn't have to check that spare key in the middle.
Skipping
He's skipping it. Oh gosh.
Oh no.
Oh.
Oh god, I'm so nervous.
We have what? 2 in the Helma room.
4 left.
4 chests left. Or no, 5.
5 if
No.
he did the big chest, but he skipped that as well.
Oh my gosh.
Let that be a lesson to doing right side first when you need a sword, because that big chest could have a sword, and doing right side first would have lined it up to him with doing left side follow up, but this way it's kind of awkward to go there.
Yeah, but how can you plan for that?
And Jenja cleaned up Meyer and is going to get his 7th crystal now. Kyle with a lot of room to spare here, but
Yeah.
the lack of a sword, who knows how long that'll go on for.
And the fact that the 2 swords that we know of are so far away.
Yeah, he
Argus,
has to
pedestal.
finish Swamp to get a sword as far as we're aware, and he might do left side Swamp before doing that. We don't know.
He might go do East Death Mountain instead, because I don't think he's done that yet.
He might have forgotten though, because when he was thinking about places to go, he didn't even choose it. And he might also just be gambling on I lose if it's there, because I didn't check it already.
Mm-hmm. That's true. It's one of those things you just got to kind of commit to. It's like either it's there and I lost, or it's not there and still have a good chance. Because it's not a gamble if you go back. Opting to switch to the fire rod. This room is. These guys are kind of giving him a little bit of the business.
And now, if he takes this anti-fairy here, which now he probably will.
You could tell he's nervous right now. He's making a lot of just like minor errors. His execution's slipping a little bit. He's thinking 4 chests left. Come on, please.
Yeah.
Oh, we got.
because
Look at that.
It
We got
messed
some
up
land
the
mola sinkage.
setup. Who's gonna clear their land molas first? Jenja's using spins with a master sword, which takes 4. Which is
Yeah,
a really
nope.
slow method.
Ran out of magic, so. But he's picking up his 7 crystal, and we'll be heading up to G Tower next. If Kyle gets bailed out, He is the luckiest rando runner in this tournament. At this point. But at the same time, this is, well, no. He needs this race. He needs to win this to secure a spot.
If he loses, he needs a kind of obnoxious 2-2 tiebreaker to happen. Just asking for a little much when Christos is in your group with 2 matches remaining.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Only a couple screens away. 1 screen away from finding out.
A couple screens.
First chest. Big 5. Big 20.
The worst thing about this choice is when he does this, it's either mirror to get the tile room, which is a huge waste of time, or finish it and never do the tile room. So that tile room is just dead to him.
Oh gosh.
Oh no. Is it a
chest
validation
left.
sword?
Oh no. I would assume you just go ahead and finish the dungeon.
Oh yeah, you have to. Mirroring it is too big of a time loss. It's easier to go up the mountain again.
Mirroring would be a death wish.
And
Moment of truth.
what we're waiting for. Kyle is in trouble.
Oh no. 3 bombs? Where is that last sword? Dude, there's got to be another one in Swamp Palace. Like, there has to be another one in Swamp
Kyle just get wedged into the wall.
Oh no. That's the worst thing that could happen right now.
We got the dash off, so it worked out, but that was an interesting wedging there. So he's got Light World Death Mound, which I think he should skip in the hopes of it's not there, I lose if it's there kind of deal. Swamp Palace.
Here's the thing though, like, depending on if Jenja ends up going right side completely and gets the big key, you know, they'll have to do a Master Sword Silverless, which will give Kyle more time to check Overworld or check Swamp or do whatever he needs to find that sword, but this is really bad for Kyle right now.
Jenja's going right, which means there could be a 48 spin Ganon coming.
This is insane. I mean, he might. I could see Jenja like maybe going left side to at least check like the Stalfos room or something, looking for a sword. Oh, and you could tell his nerves are getting to him. This is not a good Agahnim fight.
Not at all. That was like a 7 or 8.
Yeah. I don't blame him though. I do not.
Oh, I forgot phase 3 spins. 52 spins, my bad. So it's 28 slashes and 12 spins, or 52 spins. Is the difference between Master Sword and Pendant.
So for people just tuning in, which, you know, I feel bad for you that you've missed so much of an amazing race. We've seen one sword, the one sword they got was in Back of Escape. There was a sword at Argus, Green Pendant Argus, and then there's a sword on the pedestal. Jenja making their way up the gauntlet.
He's going to Swamp.
This is crazy. Oh my gosh.
Now is he going to go straight up to Argus, kill him, and then check left side, or is he going to spend extra time? Or potentially less time if there's a sword on left side. No silvers for Jenja. And the arrow count is low. Fortunately, he doesn't need them for much else after these 2 rooms.
I mean, I gotta say, Master Sword, like the first 2 phases of Master Sword, Ganon, like they take a long time. Both players will be able to cut it a little bit shorter with that cape in hand, but especially Kyle with the half magic. But yeah, silvers for phase 4. Also, you know, we'll save a lot of time as well because, you know, it's 24 spins.
Yeah, that
takes
take
so
it down
long.
to 4 spins just for the silvers if you get only 1 per spin. So it's a huge time difference, the silver arrows on a Master Sword fight, but is it going to be a big enough difference? And is Kyle missing a sword even going to be a big enough difference? Because he's going to get that sword not too far from now anyways, so Jenya might be behind on the fight just to begin with, and then the silvers might landslide it. It's hard to tell.
It's going to be close. It depends on how Jenya executes throughout the gauntlet, because Kyle's execution was definitely not up to par with how he normally performs, which understandably so. But Kyle, depending on how he routes Swamp, he could full clear it. There could still be a sword on the left side. I don't remember what items are over there or if there are items over there. But he still has to do Fighter Sword spins or Hammer Sword Argus, which takes a ridiculous amount of time.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, it's not a fun situation to be in. And then, fortunately for him, because this was an Aga-required seed, he'll be able to mirror out, mirror, save and quit, and then just go right up through the Hyrule Castle portal, up the stairs and go.
Since he's killed Agahnim, you don't want to mirror a second time. You just save and quit to the top of the pyramid and go.
Well, does it work that way?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it will put him... Okay, yeah, you're right. He killed Aga, he has the mirror, it would just automatically put him there in the Dark World. Got it! You're right.
Oh, Jenya, don't get shot in the last stages of this.
Yeah, Jenya does not have... I don't think he has any safeties, because he used the fairy in the laser bridge.
He should have a red. Yeah.
Okay. And I believe Kyle picked up a blue potion in...
Yeah, Kyle bought some blues.
Alright. Now, will Kyle grab the big key and go back upstairs, or is he going to go straight to Argus?
He's got a decent lead on Jenya if he goes straight to Argus. If he doesn't, it might be equalized.
Depending on how he routes this, I could easily see this come down to, like... I don't know. It's hard to tell right now how close this is going to be.
Yeah, you can see Jenya's nervous as well.
Yeah, and
the place
lacking magic.
Yeah, they got a green, but that just means there's no potions left for Ganon either. Which is Master Sword silverless Ganon without a potion is a scary deal. You got a lot of extra room, but if you say miss a few spins just because you're playing nervous because you think the other player is going to beat you,
wow,
then you could miss out on those torches and put yourself behind.
Oh, Kyle can't decide.
Oh, that was so close to him wasting a lot of time, but he is going straight to Viddy, and that
he still can't decide. He keeps on turning back every second. Oh, this is huge. He's like, oh, this is such a long fight, and I can still do left side.
Those must have been the moments of, wait a minute, I have to hammer Argus? I don't really want to do that. Should I turn back?
Jenya realizing that there's only one chest left, and unfortunately, it doesn't hold the silvers or sword upgrade. This could easily come down. After this, he's going to get his sword. It's going to come down to silver arrows.
Yep, Jenya should be entering the fight about the same time as Kyle, because Kyle, if he is aware, will save and quit right out of the front of Swamp.
I am very curious, and we'll have to ask him, well, except he doesn't have a mic, so we won't be able to ask him outright in the interview, but why skipping East Death Mountain?
I have a feeling he just forgot outright, because when he got Hookshot Cave done, he was ready to go to Spiral, and then he decided T-Rock, and from there he was kind of just flustered all over the place, and I think he just missed it.
Yeah, good use of the Fighter Sword spins. That was definitely faster.
Yep.
Or at least it looked faster.
It's a little faster, especially if you can get the double hooks in. You don't have to menu all the time. Ooh, so he's in the fight earlier than Jenya if he just save and quits here.
Oh no, Jenya missing some of these cycles. It's gonna be so close. Yeah. Kyle picking up their Master Sword.
Triple.
Jenya finishing off Agahnim with a triple, so these guys
are a matter of like 10 seconds going into this fight, and silver's on Kyle.
Yeah.
It's close. Silver's and half magic is a huge advantage for Kyle, and a blue. Like, there is everything on Kyle's side right now. Jenya really needs both excellent performance and Kyle to make a mistake.
I gotta say, if this was like one of the weeklies, I feel like the percent of people that would forfeit would be like in the 50% range.
Yeah, this would have been a horrible weekly to deal with. Sword on a pedestal and nothing else. We don't even know where the last sword is still.
I still think it's left side swamp at this point. But it could have been Tile Room, could have been Big Chest. We saw everything in the overworld as far as I know, except for, I don't think we saw Hammer Pigs.
Oh, this is a perfect positioning for Kyle to get, and since Jenja has not chosen to do cape strats because he doesn't have the magic ore bottle, he won't get this same RNG in the fight, and it'll make it even harder for him.
Yeah, this, unless barring some sort of like catastrophic fall to Ganon, this is Kyle's game, I'd say. Silver's playing a huge part.
Yeah, even without the silvers, Kyle not only in the lead, but used the half magic cape strat to give himself a big advantage on how the phases lined up for him.
Oh, well, you know, you left or right side, both of them, you can take advantage of using the wall strats. Just gotta be careful. That's one.
Torch glitch with the fire rod is excellent as well.
That's two. Oh, we're gonna get a double out of this one?
That's four.
That's GG.
And
Wow.
Kyle has secured himself into the possible tiebreaker match between TGH and Christos, if Christos can win his final two matches. But right now, Jenja and LT Gray have been dropped from the potential final match there.
What an incredible race. For the longest time, that seed was just like, both players were going, you know, same, at the same pace, same routing, same plan here and there. Then it came down to the 50-50 Ice Palace Swamp, where both players got something that they needed to beat the game.
Yep.
And then, you know, I gotta say, it really came down to, what, half magic and silvers. Especially half magic, so...
Yeah, it's a very, very surprising end with the way things had been going. It looked for a while to be Kyle's seed, and then no sword pops up anywhere. And that's kind of where panic comes in. And he starts to lose time in every room with struggling. But then Jenja, not knowing where his opponent is, also made the same kind of blunders on the way through. So it kind of gave Kyle a little bit more balance to be able to make it. But then those, as you mentioned, the items that Kyle has over Jenja really gave him a huge boost to that Ganon fight.
Well, just imagine if Kyle had routed Swamp Palace any differently. Like, had gotten the big key and then gone and checked left side before committing to Argus. You know, it would have been a lot closer.
Yeah, you could still see the difference on how long this awful, awful fight is. I mean, he's using Fire Rod, which is going to put him in a little trouble with his magic soon, but you can just see how long this fight takes.
It takes a while, yeah. I mean, even if you can get a triple every time, that's still 8 cycles.
Yeah, really, it all comes down to that somewhat gamble on the Dark World routing that Jenja took to try to hope for a hammer. Kind of put him off on doing the purple chest, and because of that, he doesn't have half magic for this fight.
Oh yeah, the Batcave play kind of changed your routing a little bit. I feel like Jenja's just Dark World routing at that part was just, it was strange. I hadn't seen it before. Like doing half of stuff, then going to Hype Cave, and then routing back. I'd have to go rewatch it because I missed portions of it.
Yeah, and at this point in time, you know what would have been faster than this fight right now? Finishing
Forfeiting?
Cold Stare.
Sorry. Yeah.
And just getting the Tempered Sword from that pedestal might have just been faster than what's going on right now, because this is a hectic fight, low health, low magic. Might even run out. It's hard to see. This is
it.
He needs
all he's got left.
I don't know how many spins he has left, but he has one left in him. Oh my god.
Oh wow. The clutch magic. Wow. GG. Both players going to be getting a sub-2 finish. What an incredible race. I couldn't have asked for a better race to commentate.
That was excellent.
And it wasn't even that the seed was like overall trolly or anything. It's just, it's rare to see a seed that are so, you know, not sword filled. You know, like
It was a back and forth the whole way because they kept switching with each other's choices, kind of lining up, kind of being close to each other, and then making another choice that was like that until they finally hit the swamp ice play, which threw the whole thing apart and made us just kind of have to see who ends up at the front when they finally get to the boss at the end of the game.
That was incredible. And unfortunately, yes, this means that both Jenya and who's the other? ALTTP are both out, seen as we at least have basically anyone that loses 2 games is out in this group because both Kyle and TGH are now sitting at 3-1. So both of them are guaranteed to at least move on or have a shot for a tiebreaker. It really comes down to how Christos Owen performs.
Yeah, so. Christos Owen left with Jenya and ALTTP as his opponents, so we'll see how those races go.
So that's the thing. It could be, it's up to Jenya and ALTTP if they want to ruin someone else's tourney life at this point.
I mean, taking the win off of Christos would feel pretty good to have beaten Christos.
Mm-hmm.
To take him away from a top, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you might not be able to make it further in the tourney, but you can at least have the honor of ruin someone else's tourney life. So, yeah. Wow, what a see, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that monstrosity of a finish. We're going to go ahead and bring Jenya in. Kyle does not have a mic, so we will not be able to hear from Kyle unless he's in chat yelling at us right now, saying, hey, please notice me. But we're going to get Jenya in right now. Jenya, wow. GG. What a finish.
Hey man, what's up?
That was an insane seed for us to watch. You guys were neck and neck pretty much the entire race. And then it came down to the Swamp Ice 50-50. You went to Swamp, which landed you a Master Sword. Kyle went to Ice, which landed him the Flute. But then Kyle went all the way up, finished all of G-Tower with only a Fighter Sword.
Oh, wow. Okay, that means... Oh, yeah, the silvers, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, silvers were on the left side in the double Firebar room. And he ended up having to go back to Swamp, killed Argus, got his sword, and then went back. So, yeah, it was crazy. Crazy to watch. Overall,
from Kyle's perspective, he didn't even check the pedestal, so he wasn't aware of a sword there either. So he had absolutely no information on any of the swords the whole time.
I was thinking, like, for a small moment, should I finish Ice Pass to get that temporary sword because it's like a big upgrade? But I don't know.
It's a gamble because at the same time, without half magic, which was in purple chest, by the way.
Oh.
Without half magic, you had a green I think you had a green potion at the time, so you could have drank that and then took out Cold Stare with the Fire Rod. But at the same time, it's a time commitment. You want to gamble on G-Tower having the next things that you need to make it easier. And we figured both you guys were 100% comfortable doing Master Sword Silverless Ganon anyway, which clearly you were.
Last hit possible.
Yeah, that was clutch. So, we were talking. Unfortunately, this is the end of your chances going further in the tournament, but you still have the honors of possibly taking out Christos Owen with you.
I will gladly do so.
Glad to hear.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun, and just making it to the group stage is already a pretty big success for me because I literally just started this like before the tournament started basically, and it's always a lot of fun. So I'm glad this is a thing. Looking forward to the next thing.
Yeah, and it was a treat watching. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you guys very much for commentating. I'm sure it was a blast.
Of course, it's always fun. And we definitely look forward to seeing you in the next tourney as well. So see you in the spring, right?
Definitely.
But yeah, it's gonna do it for us here, as in me and Futon. Coming up next on this channel, we have Jet versus Pryor. So we're gonna go ahead and hand that off. They're waiting on us to get lost. So with that, thank you so much for joining me, Futon. Thank you to Dude for tracking, and of course, thank you to Fiesel for restreaming. Shoutouts to both Kyle and Jenya for putting on an awesome show. And thank you all for watching. So take us away, Futon. Do a little dance.
All right. Well, you got the links in chat for who to follow and whatnot, so make sure to check those runners out. Thank you guys so much for having us, and let's move on to the next one.
Bye-bye.